Hi, this is Josh Kulp. We are doing the Daf Shevui video for Daf Lammed Heh of Masechet Kiddushin, and I want to focus here on the mitzvah of tefillin and bring to your attention a source about women wearing tefillin that comes up in Masechet Eruvin. It's on Sadi Hey and Sadi Vav, page 95 and 96 of Masechet Eruvin, if you'd like to look it up somewhere on the computer or on regular books. But I just want to bring the attention this source. So the source, I'm not going to learn the entire sugya, but it's based on a Mishnah that talks about somebody who finds tefillin out in the public domain on Shabbat. How can he bring them in? Okay, the issue is you're not allowed to carry things on Shabbat from the public domain into the private domain. On the other hand, tefillin are valuable. They contain God's name in them, and we don't want to leave them sitting around in the public domain. So the Mishnah says, one who finds, this is the beginning of the 10th chapter of Masechet Eruvin, of Tractate Eruvin in the Mishnah, one who finds tefillin should bring them in one pair at a time. The simple pshat seems to be that wearing tefillin is okay in the public domain. You're allowed to wear your clothing after all. Tefillin are considered clothing, and you can bring them in and then go back out, take off your tefillin inside and go back and put another pair on. We wouldn't normally allow this with clothing because it's obvious he's doing it in order to carry, but since tefillin have a value that regular clothing does not, we allow him to do that. Rabban Gamliel says 2 pairs at a time. He's allowed to wear 2 pairs of tefillin at a time, and that is a strange opinion because, generally speaking, people don't wear 2 pairs of tefillin at the same time. So the sugya about this first tries to solve the sugya on Daf Sadi Hey on page 95, tries to really solve how can Rabban Gamliel allow you to wear 2 pairs at the same time, and it seems maybe that there's an opinion that there's room on one's head to wear 2 pairs of tefillin and not just one, and therefore you'd be wearing them both, at least according to Rabban Gamliel. But then they move on to a sugya about whether or not Shabbat is the proper time to wear tefillin. Now I should say that it seems that according to the original sources embedded in this sugya, for the most part Shabbat was not a time to wear tefillin. As far as I know, sages did not actually wear tefillin on Shabbat, and it seems almost universal that sages did not, that people, maybe completely universal, that people did not wear tefillin, but the Stama de Gemara brings it up as a possibility that sages, there are people who would hold that you have to wear tefillin on Shabbat. And then we get into a sugya that's important for our issue here, and let me just find it on my computer here for 1 second. I am scrolling down. This is on 96b. We get to a source where, let's see. Sorry. Where is this source about Michal? I'm looking on. Okay, I'm sorry. It's the bottom of 96a. Maybe they bring up the following source. Elahai Tanahu, this Tana, who said that Shabbat is a time for tefillin, is the same Tana who teaches the following source. Michal bat Kushi haita menachet tefillin velo michu ba chachamim. Michal, this daughter of Kushi, who the Talmud interprets as being King Saul, right? Michal was King Saul's daughter, would put on tefillin, and the sages did not protest against her behavior, as these sages believed that she was permitted to do so. There's also a different note about Ishto Shel Yonah, the prophet. Haita ula l'regel. She would make the pilgrimage festival, despite the fact that it's a mitzvah, that's positive time-bound commandment. Velo michu ba chachamim, and the sages did not protest against her. And since the sages did not protest against her, then the conclusion of the sugya seems to be that tefillin are a mitzvat aseh, a positive commandment, shelo hazman grama, that does not have a set time. But then the problem is, how can you say that the Aliyah L'Regel, that the pilgrimage festival, making a pilgrimage on the festival, is not have a set time? That seems exceedingly strange. Obviously, it does have a set time. So then they resolve it that this Mishnah it should be ascribed. This position should be ascribed to Rabbi Yossi, who holds Nashim Somchot Reshut. Nashim, women are allowed to place their hands on the heads of a sacrificial animal, which is a rite that has to be done at a particular time, and women are, generally speaking, considered to be exempt from this mitzvah if they bring a sacrifice. But Rabbi Yossi says they may do it as a permitted act and not as a mandated act. And this is the source for women being able to perform mitzvot aseh, positive time-bound commandments for which they are not obligated for. Okay, this is the classic source that really, today we don't put our hands on sacrificial animals anymore, but it has importance when it comes to the performance of mitzvot such as lulav and sukkah, particularly lulav and sukkah, and particularly lulav because that's something like sort of done, and sukkah a little more passive. You just end up having to sit in the sukkah. It seems hard to imagine anyone would tell women they're not allowed to sit in the sukkah. But this is a very important source for allowing women to put on tefillin even if they're not obligated to. Again, in the conservative movement, there are those who say that they are obligated to, and I think we have a little bit of less of an issue, but even according to classical halachic sources, it would seem that this source would be support for the notion that women can put on tefillin. So again, I would encourage you to look at that daf on your own. It starts on 95b and it goes through 96b of Masechet Eruvin.